Hi guys, welcome back. It's your host Tommy with yet another Starcraft Remastered replay cast, and what a surprise, once again a game from Flash. I believe this is actually my 50th replay here onto this channel, as we have him spawning here in the lower right, in the purple, as the Terran of course. And his opponent is going to be once again a barcode user here from South Korea. Sadly I don't know who the AK here from this pro player is, but yeah, he's spawning here in the upper left as the white Protoss. A 4 spawning location map once again. Let's just have a look exactly at their build order and what exactly their plans are. A very short replay, as you can see from the timer. Is it perhaps going to be once again the timing push by Flash? We're about to find out, as he really likes those timing push lately with his tanks, with his vultures in the front, and he also takes some SCVs to place some turrets. And let's just see what the Protoss is going to be doing. Really like to go into the shuttle gameplay lately with those drops straight onto the armies from the Terrans. Now currently we see only a pylon here for the Protoss, so no intentions yet for him to go for a fast expansion build order. Pretty standard stuff here by him. Pylon into gateway, Flash also going for his supply depot, and I believe he's going to continue with his barracks. Either that or he's going to save for a command center, but no, it's actually going to be also a normal build order for him. Although the barracks is pretty much far out here onto the map, as he's also starting his scouting, and he did some mistakes early on with the scouting, so I believe he's just a little bit too fast with his scouting, not being patient. So in 2 games here onto this channel he actually mis-scouted the opponent, and yeah, that was very interesting to watch here by Flash. So let's check the Protoss once again. There is his gas and there is the gateway with should be cybernetic scores of course for him. So yeah, we're going to be very likely having a Dragoon gameplay here by the Protoss. So it's a pretty standard stuff here by him as the scouting continues. Interesting enough here for the Protoss, he's not deciding to scout out the map, so just pretty much staying here at home, being very safe, as he's also now gathering some gas. Let's have a look at the gas from Flash. No gas yet for him. I believe he is indeed going for the expansion. He might continue with a bunker here, and yeah, sadly for him a little bit of a bad scouting, but yeah, let's see how the game is going to continue. Still no scouting here for the Protoss, so we're closing towards the 3-minute mark and there is still no scouting here from this pro. Interesting gameplay here by him, playing very safe. First Dragoon is also getting made by him. I believe he's going to wait for the timing for the scouting SCV to arrive into his base, but he noticed that something is wrong, and he's actually even placing a expansion here. Of course it's going to be guarded by the first Dragoons, who will pop out very soon. So in comes the SCV from Flash. Check his main once again. Bunker be up very soon, and yeah, the first Dragoon also intercepting now the SCV from Flash. So Flash saw the timing here from the expansion, he saw also the timing from the Dragoon, so he pretty much knows what exactly the build order from the Protoss is, but he doesn't know if it's a second gateway or only one gateway here for him. And we also have him react with a factory here into his home location, as the second SCV is actually getting sent out here by Flash. So he really wants to know what exactly is happening here into the main from the Protoss, but there should be another Dragoon popping out very soon. So Flash shows us how important the scouting is. At the same time he also might just scout here the map for some proxy robotics facility into the area. So yeah, very good gameplay here by Flash, showing us how important it is to have the map control. Still roaming around here with his SCV, the Dragoon very close by towards the bunker. Worker wise, we have 5 more walkers here for Flash, and the factory is also about to get finished. Let's just check the Protoss once again. We do have a robotics facility base, so he might go for a harassment with a shuttle with some DTs. It could be a river drop. We're about to find out very soon what exactly the plans from the Protoss are. Versus Flash, as he's also patrolling here the map with his Dragoon. And yeah, Flash really wants to know what is going to happen here. Perhaps another expansion would have been placed, so this is why this SCV is very important, to see if the gameplay from the Protoss is quite greedy. But a good interception here for the Protoss, as he's very likely going to snap the SCV here. And with that, the Protoss taking another expansion here. So Flash not having satellite here, he is pretty much blind now. He doesn't know that it is a very greedy gameplay here from his opponent, and very soon the Protoss is very likely going to catch up. Also, he has an observatory here, so playing a very nice build order here by the Protoss, and in the meantime just dealing some damage towards the bunker here from Flash, but Flash also having the tank out, and he should of course be able to hold this, but no siege ability yet. Notice that he's going for weapons 1 for the tanks, so he might go for a timing push once again, as he's nicely microing this tank in and out of danger. At the same time, double gas for him. We also have an armory here for him, going for that important upgrade, and now siege ability is getting started, as we also have the first observer getting produced. So Protoss playing very greedy here, very macro orientated, but already at his 3rd expansion here, so very soon he's going to be having 4 bases here onto the map. So quite a greedy gameplay here, and leaving those dragoons here very important for him. So is Flash going to be able to punish this, as the dragoons now on hold here? Of course, very important to have those dragoons, not to allow the Terran to move out, and just try to buy as much time as possible. But Flash might have, yes indeed, comset, so he did use energy. He did very likely scan this area, perhaps this one here as well, so he pretty much knows what exactly is happening here, and he also knows that he has to push out very soon, or the Protoss will gain the economic advantage and of course overwhelm the Terran into the late game. So yeah, 2 Goliaths have been added. We have a command center here for him, and let's have a look what the next steps are going to be. Only 2 factories here at home. Weapons 1 is about to get finished. The range for the Goliaths is also about to get finished. So still only 2 factories here for Flash, as he's also adding a hidden starport here, so we might see some science vessels for him, or perhaps it's going to be a race. Let's just see exactly what his plans are, as some more dragoons are actually moving here forward for the Protoss. So the Protoss in a very commanding position here, and Flash in a more defensive gameplay here versus the opponent. But let's see for how long is this going to continue. Slowly but steadily we're closing towards the 10-minute mark. It's 2 observers here, still only 2 factories, and there we have a science facility, so we might indeed see some science vessels. And let's see when or if the Terran is going to push out. Speed for the shuttle is getting done. The dragoons are slowly but steadily trying of course to gain the position of this expansion right here, but yeah, Flash is slowly but steadily going to push out with his tanks, with his Goliaths in the front. Interesting enough, he doesn't have any vultures, so perhaps that's a small mistake by him, but now he's setting more and more of those factories, and it's just tanks with Goliaths for him, as the expansion is floating. And in the meantime, even yet another expansion here by the Protoss. So the Protoss is pretty much expanding all over the map, forcing the Terran to also expand here perhaps. But like I told you, in the late game this will of course be an advantage for the Protoss, given the fact that his economy is of course going to overwhelm the opponent. Even though the tanks are much better on the ground, the economy from the Protoss will eventually allow him to just to pretty much throw masses of zealots or other units towards the enemy. And we can even see the Protoss now having almost 60 workers, as Flash is still on a more defensive gameplay here, as his 4th factory is getting finished, and indeed finally some vultures are getting produced, with weapons 2 and plating is also getting done by him. So let's have a look at the upgrades from the Protoss. There it is, only 0 to 0. I believe I didn't see a forge yet. We do have speed for the zealots, shuttle gameplay, and speed for the shuttle as well. And there it is. Let's see, we have a Reaver and 2 zealots. What exactly can he do with this? There were some turrets here of course getting placed. So Flash is of course expecting an attack by a shuttle. So many turrets are being placed. He might even put some mines here onto the ground to have more of a defensive gameplay here. And here in comes the shuttle. I believe that he just waited for the speed to be finished, and there it is. In comes this shuttle. It's going to get noticed. The turret already dealing good damage towards it, even though it has speed upgrade. There's even 3 turrets very soon here, so the Protoss needs to be careful, taking quite some damage. I believe with that the harassment is pretty much over, as the defense look really strong here for the Terran. Perhaps this pass right here would have been better for the Protoss if he could have observed it, and he actually killed his own bunker there. But yeah, this path actually looking really good here to fly by with your shuttle. And yeah, let's see what's going to happen here, as still the Terran plays it very defensively here, and both players pretty much at the same work account. More supply here for the Protoss, but it's pretty much only Dragoons on the ground. I believe some Zealots will be added very soon. 2 shuttles already here, and let's see, it looks like the Protoss seems to be the first willing to attack here versus the opponent, as Terran pretty much on a very defensive gameplay here. And we see the first strong army move out here by the Protoss, and he's only going to attack here with Dragoons. Perhaps a mistake by him. Those Dragoons are pretty much exposed. They need Zealots, and they income the shuttles with the drops. But we do have Goliaths, of course. There are those Zealots just soaking up the remaining mines straight forward, and a great attack here. Even the Reaver getting dropped here by the Terran, but immediately getting taken out. But there's also many Zealots, and he's going straight towards the expansion point, so pretty much catching Flash a little bit off guard. The Vultures are now in the front giving cover. The command center has to be uplifted, and more damage is being taken here left and right as both players take quite some casualties, but the command center is actually getting sniped here. So the Protoss with a very nice timing push, all of a sudden it's not the Terran who is abusing the attack. Actually the Protoss, and the shuttle gameplay looking really strong by him with those dropped Zealots straight towards the tanks here from Flash. So Flash in some serious trouble, even though he has the tanks spreaded. The Dragoons are still alive in the back. He might even try to snipe some SCV. So what a great gameplay here by the Protoss. What I was thinking was a very greedy gameplay in the end turned out to be very well executed, and a nice strong push by him, willing of course to take casualties versus the tanks, but in the end it worked out really well for him, and this might be the winning move. Yes, indeed, Flash has to actually GG out. So great gameplay here by this Protoss. I have no idea who he is. Barcode with a 1 behind. Flash playing way too defensively, and look at that, the Protoss already at 5 bases here. Very nice gameplay. Sadly here for Flash, he decided to play it more defensively and not do timing push like he did in previous replays, and this has cost him dearly as he has lost this game. Still a very good game here by both players, but this time the Protoss proving to be too strong for Flash, so nice game by him. Let's check the stats very quick. Good job here by the Protoss. Perhaps you guys know who this is. I don't think it's Bisu. Bisu doesn't have a 1 behind. I don't think it's Snow either. But yeah, still a very good game by the Protoss. Very nicely executed, and like I told you, willing to take sacrifices, willing to lose Zealots, just drop them with the shuttle straight towards those tanks, straight towards those mines, and yeah, in the end taking a very beautiful game here. So yeah, nice game by both players. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to try to post as many Flash replays as possible. Perhaps I'm going to find some Bisu replays as well, and some Jaedong replays as well, maybe some Starcraft 2 with SERRAL. Yeah, let's just see what's going to happen. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's Tommy signing out. Hi guys, welcome back. It's Tommy with another Starcraft Remastered replay cast, and a very interesting engagement we have here from the South Korean ladder. However, it is a international engagement, as we have spawning here in the upper left in the brown. It is the Russian player Devault with his AK here with the barcode and with the 1, and his opponent spawning here in the lower left in the purple. It is also a barcode player, but you of course should know who this is. Of course, Flash with many replays here onto this channel. So once again, a 4 spawning location map, and once again it is a Terran versus Protoss. Let's just have a look exactly what is going to happen here into this game. A very nice international gameplay here from them, as we have a pylon very close towards the base from Devault. So it looks like a pretty standard open up here by Devault, so no intentions by him to go for the fast expansion, and pretty standard open up here by Flash as well, as he's going of course for his first supply depot next to his base, next to his mineral here as well, perhaps to give a little bit cover towards the SCVs in case there is an early attack by the Protoss. We also have the production tab here in the upper left part. We see that a gateway is being followed up here for Devault, and we also have the barracks a little bit outside here for Flash. So it looks like he's going to block the entrance very soon, very likely with another supply depot and perhaps a bunker to give cover towards his expansion point into this location. The first scouting SCV is moving out here for Flash. Let's see exactly when or if there's going to be a scouting SCV for Devault, as he's going for his gas right here. Russia versus South Korea, it is here onto the 4 spawning location map. No gas yet here for Flash, but a good scouting move out movement here by him, as very soon he's going to reach the main from the Protoss, and there we have the cybernetic scores. So it's very likely going to be Dragoons here for Devault, as the SCV is now reaching the main base and already sees that 3 probes are already mining gas, so he pretty much knows what exactly is coming towards his way and immediately reacting with a fast expansion on his own. Nice build order here by Flash. Pretty sure he's going to continue to wall off here and to play it a little bit more defensively versus the Protoss, but as you can see it's quite a short game, so this could be punished of course by Devault with some early harassment, with some Dragoons, later on with some battle gameplay with Reavers and even Psionic Storm in case there is time. So let's see what the reaction from Devault is going to be, as he's now moving out towards the map, sadly for him into the wrong direction, as we will pass the 3-minute mark. So yeah, that's the supply depot. I believe this could be a good placement, or even here a good placement for a bunker. That's exactly what Flash is doing as he's going into his first Marines. You also see the range upgrade for the Dragoons, and yeah, the first Dragoon is already heading out here for Devault, as the SCV is also moving out here for Flash. So he might try to hide a factory here very close by towards Devault. Could be a possibility for him. Could also add a starport and to do some surprise drops with some vultures, also a possibility here for Flash, as the first Dragoon is now moving out straight towards the expansion for Flash. So still no expansion here for the Protoss. Quite an interesting build order by him. Sees now the bunker, sees the wall off, pretty much knows what is happening, as he might also try to continue with an expansion on his own. At the same time he's also going for even more Dragoons are getting spawned here for him, as we do see the first factory also getting created here by Flash. So very good macro oriented game here by Flash. However, worker wise both of them pretty much at the same worker amount, and Devault is nicely hiding this probe here against Flash, so that the SCV did not see the attempt from him to go for the expansion here as well. So yeah, pretty good hiding here for Devault, as range is going to finish very soon. The second factory is about to get finished here as well for Flash. So very nice transition here from bio into mech by him, as very soon the bunker is going to be harassed. Flash has to react versus that, as 2 more Dragoons are now moving forward towards him, and he's also nicely placing another supply depot here to have vision against the early shuttle, if there would be some shuttles. I still see no robotics facility bay here for Devault. 2 SCVs, Flash needs another SCV, there it is, in order to repair. So it's 3 Dragoons, of course you need 3 SCVs to repair it, as we see another expansion here by Devault. So quite interesting stuff by him, not going towards the robotics facility bay, is going straight into massive amounts of expansions, as we see a turret now going up here for Flash. So Flash is expecting indeed a drop with some Reavers. There is finally the very late robotics facility bay, given the fact that Devault has indeed taken the 12 o'clock position and is now just pretty much attacking here this bunker. We also might try to attack some of the SCVs, but a very good defense, as we have the first siege tank moving out, and siege tank ability is also about to get finished very soon, as we have double adds on here for the Terran. See how the game is going to continue. The tank is moving forward very soon, it will be sieged up, and with that I believe the harassment is going to finish versus Flash, and there's the siege tank with good splash damage versus the Dragoons. Just the reaction. So yeah, with that the harassment has stopped. However, 4 SCVs have been brought here forward by Flash, and some mining time has been lost by him, as lots and lots of turrets are of course the reaction, the normal reaction here by Flash. However, his main also needs some turrets. There it is. Let's see an armory very soon going out here for him as well. So Flash still doesn't know about this expansion right here. Lots and lots of probes are getting transferred. So worker wise, both of them still at the same worker amount, as Devault has nicely created a beeline here in order to check if there's going to be a move out by Flash or not, as we see an observatory also getting added here by Devault, but still no shuttle for him, still no Reaver. Nicely blocked entrance against the vultures, so very good gameplay here by the Russian player. And we see some SCVs trying to move out here, but Devault of course in position to fend this off. Yeah, let's see how the game is going to continue. 4 tanks already here for Flash, no vultures. Actually now the first vultures are getting produced, and speed has also been started here by him. We have the armory for the units here, for the mech units for Flash. And yeah, let's just see the first observers also moving out. There's 4 gateways here for Devault, and we see more pylons moving out. Observatory nicely hidden in the back as more and more minerals are getting gathered here for Devault. No gas taken here, no gas here as well, so he's only staying into 1 gas. Enough for him. I believe he's going to try to invest into more heavily zealot production very soon, and he might try to push forward against Flash. Let's see, in the meantime, Flash is actually the one pushing here forward with siege tank and with marines, but the observer is nicely seeing every movement here from the Terran. One SSV is already out as well, just to add some turrets, and the Devault is actually having to prepare his defenses. However, he only has dragoons, very good versus the vultures, but not so good versus the tanks, unless they will be able to get some lucky positions and snipe one tank after the other. Yeah, in the meantime, Flash is just keeps on moving here forward. So very early movement here as he's sieging up one siege tank after the other, but he needs to be careful. Like I told you, one siege tank pretty much exposed, almost getting taken out. The vultures coming from the back. Now finally the siege tank is being taken out. The vultures also here to give great protection, great cover towards those siege tanks in the back, and the marines also here, as well as slowly but steadily Flash is moving here forward with his siege tanks, with his vultures. There are of course observers to snipe the mines, but still the siege tanks are of course the real damage dealers, and the marines also giving great cover here for the tanks from Flash. 2 tanks are still alive, more are getting produced. 1 weapons upgrade here for him, as even a bunker is getting added here very close towards the expansion point from Devault. So we're closing in towards the 10-minute mark. A very aggressive move out here by Flash. He has now vision forward, but it's just a couple of tanks with some marines. Could of course be executed very soon. Let's see if Devault is pretty much going to commit here forward. Some dragoons in the back finally will be microed forward, as he's having of course to go for the tanks, but lots and lots of damage is being taken here by Devault. Of course a move that he had to be done, but in the end lots of dragoons will be sacrificed here for this movement forward. And in the meantime, reinforcements are pouring also forward here for Flash. Quite chaotic scenes we have here. Those players are inflicting good damage towards each other, and now finally I believe the dragoons should be able to fend this off. However, the reinforcements are here for Flash. What can be the next move? Perhaps some zealots with speed be very good, as the vulture still inflicts some damage. Yeah, really a great position actually here for Flash. All of a sudden Devault could pretty much just ignore this and move towards the expansion here. It could be a possibility for him, as it is not that well defended here by Flash. Yeah, in the meantime his expansion pretty much exposed. Drones even taking some damage here, so let's see what the reaction from Devault is going to be as he's now moving out. He still has some reavers, he still has some units here, so this can be quite deadly versus Flash, as all of his units are pretty much very far out into inflicting damage here versus the expansion. He has more workers. Finally in come the vultures, so this expansion is pretty much lost, as Devault with a very risky move here deciding to expand very close towards the units from Flash. In come the vultures once again, as we have passed the 10-minute mark. A shuttle is actually out here for Devault with some reavers, with some zealots, but lots and lots of vultures are here out, and with the tanks, those dragoons pretty much in great danger. Devault could of course try to engage the reinforcements that are moving forward here for Flash in the back. It's just pretty much just dragoons here. Finally a reaver is out, nicely getting microed here by Devault and dealing good damage towards the tanks. One tank's almost getting sniped here. The reinforcements are in the back to secure this position. The one zealot could of course inflict good damage, but in the end the expansion is pretty much lost here for Devault. So let's see what the reaction from Devault is going to be as he's moving out. Here come the reinforcements, just vultures. This expansion, very risky move here by Devault, as Flash tries to nicely bypass this, but we have a nice reaver here, and also nice placement by mines here from Flash, as one expansion has been taken out. And I believe slowly but steadily Flash is going to try to move forward towards the next expansion from Devault. At the same time he's also expanding into this location right here, so very interesting movement here by Flash. He actually decides to abandon this position and retreating, even adding here a supply depot. So quite interesting build orders here, interesting SimCity build orders here by Flash. As in the meantime we see a shuttle here moving out, taking quite some damage out of the turret, but the reaver could inflict some great damage. However, sadly for him, he did lose the the shuttle, and with that the river is pretty much exposed here, and yet it is going to be taken out. So sadly here for Devault, quite a risky move that has been punished here by Flash with his great turret placement. So very good try here by Devault, and Flash was ready for that with the defenses here, with the turrets. In the meantime, Devault giving more attention here towards his expansion. Speed for the Zealots is really much needed for him, but sadly I don't see the upgrade there. So Devault with a little bit of a mistake here, as there is speed for the Vultures of course, and there are siege tanks, and there's even now Goliaths moving forward here for Flash. So quite a scary move out here by Flash, as he's going towards another expansion position. We do have however double Reavers, and they're very strong versus the Vultures. As they income the Vultures, sadly here for Default, he has no shuttle, so the Reavers are pretty much exposed now. All of the siege tanks have been sieged up, the Reavers immediately getting blown here into pieces, and Default actually deciding here to GG out. So a very early aggressive move out here by Flash, proving to be very risky, but in the end making a great difference here into this game. Perhaps Devault did indeed lose many units here into this location. Perhaps it would have been wiser for him to just go straight for a counter attack. But yeah, little does he know if it would have been successful or not, because just a couple of siege tanks here in the back would have of course been ready to secure this expansion right here. So quite a very hard decision making game here for Devault versus Flash. Yeah, Flash nicely taking the game in the end. Have a look at his upgrades. I believe weapons 1 indeed has been done. And the late Templar Archives here, perhaps High Templar Storms would have also be very good versus the tanks, and those Reavers sadly for Devault didn't really make a difference. So in the end, still a good game by both players. Very aggressive move out here by Flash, showing that you don't really have to turtle up into your main as a Terran. You can actually move out and inflict good damage towards the economy from the opponent. So yeah, good game by both players. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Tommy signing out. Hi guys, welcome back to game number 3 in between Flash and Devault, as I'm spawning once again on this sandy beautiful map here. I believe a 3 spawning location map. We have spawning here in the lower left in the blue, it is Flash with his barcode AK, and his opponent here in the lower right in the brown, it is also Devault with his barcode and the number 1 behind. So I believe 2 games I have already casted here onto this channel. This is game number 3 in between them. Let's just see exactly what their build orders are going to be. We of course have the production tab here in the upper left part. You can see from the timer quite a slow, not a long replay here in between Flash and Devault. Only 8 to 10 minutes here. Let's just see exactly what's going to happen. Is Flash once again going to try a aggressive timing push versus the opponent, or perhaps it's going to be Devault, the one victorious, with perhaps a harassment, Dark Templars, Reavers? What exactly is going to happen here? Perhaps some lucky Dragoons. Let's just have a look at their build orders very quick. It looks like Devault is preparing actually a fast expansion build order here in order to create a barrier here and at the entrance here from this expansion, and he's already moving out with his scouting probe. Usually the Terrans like to scout the map early on, but this time it's actually Devault moving out already at the 1 minute and 20 second mark, as Flash continues here with his supply depot and with his barracks. So let's just see exactly if Devault is going to be successful with his exploring here, or perhaps he's going to hide a pylon into some location with a robotics facility bay with some Reaver dropships. Let's just see exactly what his plans are, as Flash now sending out his scout, just like he did in previous replays, at around the 1 minute and 50 second mark. Moving here close towards the base from Devault. Another pylon has been added. Gateway is already done. We see the first Zealot getting moved out, and also the gas is getting ready here for Devault. Let's just see Flash. He's not going for gas, so this might indicate to us that he might go for a expansion. He has 400 minerals. Let's just see if he's going to be... Yes, indeed, he's going to invest them here into a expansion, but Devault sees this, so with that, Devault might cancel his expansion plans, and he might try to be aggressive early on versus Flash. He sees the timing from the command center here, and the bunker is also getting ready here for Flash. So Flash with a very nice macro-oriented game, going for a long run with a nice economy here for him. But the first Zealot is also moving out here for Devault. So Devault with the probe and with the Zealot could be deadly. They could actually bypass this bunker right here. Flash might have to try to block the entrance, as the Zealot is already taking quite some damage here. The shields have fallen, and the Zealot is actually moving here forward. Perhaps he's going to be dealing some good damage towards the Marine. Late micro here for Flash. 2 Marines very, very low. The Zealot is also dropping really, really low, but in the end it gets taken out. However, 3 Marines really, really low, as they need to hide now inside the bunker. Let's just see when exactly, or if the next Dragoons will move out here for Devault, as an interesting pylon here has been placed by Devault very, very close towards the expansion point here from Flash. So let's just see if is he going for another gateway here, or what exactly his plans are. He still has no expansion. Gas is getting mined. There is the upgrade for the Dragoon range. What exactly are the plans here from Devault? Perhaps a robotics facility bay into this location with straight some reavers out without a shuttle could be a possibility here for him. So very smart move by him. Flash pretty much under siege now. 2 Zealots in the front controlling the exit from him. 3 Marines, actually 4 Marines should be still alive here into this bunker. 3 however really, really hurt, and the first Dragoon is moving out here for him. But of course SCV is moving forward for Flash. Devault decides to move out with the Dragoon, and there we have some buildings getting placed here by him. It's a gateway and a robotics facility base, so quite interesting stuff getting guarded by 2 Zealots. The Dragoon is also on its way towards the point from Flash. Let's just see the reaction from Flash. There is his factory. He needs some siege tanks urgently, or else it's going to be really, really bad for him. I believe he has no vision about this. However, his SCV is just moving here forward, and he sees that there is no expansion into this location, so he knows that something is up. Something might be hidden towards the map, but then again the Dragoon has taken out the SCV, and now the other SCV might have tried to gain some visuality here from the buildings from Devault. But yeah, this is pretty much nicely secured with this nice beeline here with Dragoons, with Zealots. And yeah, like I told you, Flash in urgent need of some siege tanks. That's exactly what he's doing. There's a siege tank ability. He's also fearing for some DTs as he's placing his engineering base, so he really wants to have vision in case there would be some Dark Templar attacks. And yeah, the Dragoons also nicely dealing some damage towards this bunker right here. Another Dragoon is popping out very, very close by here, so very smart move by the Russian player as he's gaining more and more momentum. He might even try to snipe one SCV or 2. So let's see what's going to happen here. The bunker is still getting repaired by the SCV. There's the tank here for Flash, but he needs to be careful. One SCV might get sniped. More SCVs are getting pulled here forward by Flash. Remember, in all of this time, Flash has more workers. He has a better economy than the opponent, but Devault has a better engagement here, a better army composition here versus his opponent. And I believe the first Reaver is actually getting produced here by him, but we do have siege tank ability here for Flash, as the tank seems to be able to control this zone right here. However, if Devault would move here forward with the Zealots and with the Dragoons in the back, he might be lucky to snipe one tank. However, now there's 2 tanks, and let's just see if Devault is going to pretty much engage here. There's the Reaver balls dealing so much splash damage here, and even the bunker is taking so much damage. The tanks, however, in the back are still unbeing touched, and now the Reaver is going to deal even more and more splash damage here as more and more Scarabs are getting produced. And yeah, they're bouncing back and forward as more and more SCVs are actually falling here for Flash. Still the tanks in the back pretty much alive now. The Dragoons are moving forward, gaining more and more of a momentum. It's actually pretty close towards this one tank. The reinforcements are moving forward here for a Flash, but now he's in pretty much great danger as the siege tank in the back pretty much exposed. The SCVs here pretty much getting taken out. So Devault with a great aggressive timing push here, and a very smart move by him, pulling those buildings here close. The Reavers now have to walk forward, as of course there is no shuttle. Finally the first shuttle is getting produced, but yeah, Devault taking more and more, dealing more and more damage here towards Flash as he's moving forward, and Flash has to retreat back. And yeah, let's just see how he's going to solve this issue right here. And in the meantime, of course, Devault smartly here taking his expansion, but the real action is of course happening here into this location. And worker wise, Flash has dropped 225 workers, just like Devault, and Devault might even snipe more and more workers here versus Flash, as the tanks in the back seems to be secured out of the buildings here in the front by Flash. And I believe another factory is getting produced here for him. But yeah, the expansion zone is pretty much in control for Flash. Sorry for Devault here, as the command center might take some damage. We have a drop happening here. The Reavers are really close towards the tanks, and they're not getting touched here. So the Reaver have been dropped. 2 tanks immediately getting exploded here, And there we have the GG, of course. This has to be the GG by Flash. So what a great aggressive push here by the Russian player, taking Flash by surprise. Flash with a little bit of a greedy gameplay here, deciding to expand on a only 3 location map. DEWALT immediately reacting without an expansion and immediately moving out with a probe. That was of course the winning move, as he's dancing here forward with his Dragoons, celebrating here this victory. So very nice game here by DEWALT, taking this game. Very smart move by him with the probe, moving out, placing the pylon, the robotics facility bay and the gateway here into this location, allowing those units to move much faster here forward and taking this expansion point. And also the drop here, very nicely executed. I believe if it wasn't for a shuttle with the drop, the game might have had continued, but in the end DEWALT had the momentum. He had a much better position here, and his expansion also here pretty much secured, and Flash in a very bad situation. So still a very nice game by DEWALT, winning him. Let's just check the stats in case you guys are interested, but a very fast game. DEWALT nicely taking it with a very smart move, very aggressive move with the pylon in the front, robotics facility bay and gateway very close towards the expansion point here from Flash. A very good game, very aggressive stuff here. Flash perhaps learning now from his mistakes. If it would have been a 4 spawning location map, it would have been better, but 3 spawning location map, very risky to go for the fast expansion. So very good game. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Tommy signing out.